hockey fans, here we go. Game 5. I'm going to check the camera. I'm going to do it because I have been very, very absent-minded today. And yes, I am recording. Now, speaking of absent-minded, all I'm going to say is I had to mow the grass, allergies, headache. So during the game, I will have to partake of some natural antihistamine. So it could get interesting, especially if we get into overtime. Now, in terms of this game, Matthews is out with a stomach ache. I mean, they said it's a stomach ache, but basically an illness that's been exacerbated. The symptoms have been exacerbated while he's on the ice. I mean, the only thing that makes sense is his stomach, right? So Matthew Tkachuk scored the game-tying goal in Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals with a broken sternum. And Matthews has a stomach ache, as far as we know, right? As far as we know. If it comes out with something really serious, I will retract my bullshit statement. So he's not in. Joseph Woll comes in to play for the Leafs. And I will say this. While I am interested in, as a Panther fan, obviously, interested in this series, I'd like to see it to go 7 games. I'm not interested in Joseph Woll becoming a Wall and stealing this series and playing the Leafs, simply because that would mean that we're playing a very, very hot goalie that just became a Wall. So I'm not interested there. But I would like to see 7 games because we're having fun streaming. And this is the first time my Panthers, in our 30-year history, this is the first time we've been sitting here after the first round just waiting and waiting. It's like, when are we going to play again? It's never happened around here before, right? Last year we won our first round, but that was Game 7, and the year before we took 6 games with the Capitals. And we knew we were going to get Tampa basically like the next day or the day before that, whatever it is. So I am enjoying this. This is stress-free hockey for my son and I. This is like all bonus hockey. Whatever happens between now and any other Game 7s, we're just sitting back having fun with it. Now, real talk. Now, Boston last year obviously was up 3-1 on the Panthers. We know how that went. We also know the history of Boston and Toronto. When Boston's had a 3-1 series lead, with Toronto making it possible to get to Game 7 to break their fans' hearts. Now, with Matthews out today, and all the bickering that went on the bench the other night with all of that, I think the only chance the Leafs have genuinely in this game is if Joseph Woll becomes a Wall. If he can come in and steal a game, maybe. But there's something not going right with that whole situation. You know, when they're being very, very cryptic about his injury / illness. And, you know, maybe I'm spoiled as a Panther fan because Tkachuk played with a broken sternum. Maybe I'm spoiled. But to me, it seems like unless you're dead or are going to pass out dead on the ice, you should probably try to play in this scenario considering the stakes. I got the Bruins hat on because we've been doing Colin and I have been doing Bruins Leafs the whole time. So I got the Bruins hat on. But in my heart, I would like to see this series at least get to Game 6 so that Colin and I have one more extra game. And just simply to see if Toronto can do it. I want to see if they can do it. And, you know, any chinks in Boston's armor before they get ready to play us, I wouldn't mind seeing those either. There you go, Toronto. Outshot the Bruins 12-2. You are clearly the team that wants it more. You've had the better of. You've totally outplayed them in the first period. Excellent job. Scores 1-1. 2 shots, 1 goal for Boston. So Toronto plays, I wouldn't say their best period of hockey, but certainly if you did not know which team was, at home or away or getting ready to be eliminated or not, you would guess that it would be Boston that was like, well, we're down 3-0 and we're, they don't look inspired. The Leafs look halfway decent. I don't want to get carried away. Now, Matthews, like I said, he's out. There was a little bit more talk, on the TV and everything about, I guess there are people that are speculating. Basically, they're like, Well, it's got to be more than he's just sick, right? It has to be something else, or it has to be really major for him to be out. Now, for me, the weird thing is in game 4, I mean, out there, he's playing. He didn't look sick. It weren't like saying Matthews to the best, to the bathroom, Matthews to the locker room. He kind of looked just fine and normal, and all of a sudden he was gone. So it's really, really strange, that whole situation. But like they said, we won't know probably what exactly what was going on until season's over, which I don't think that's going to happen tonight. I think Toronto's going to. I could smell it. I could. Oh no, that's the stove burning. All right. Anyway, let's move on to the second period. All right, so still tied at 1 after 2. I get the feeling that the next goal wins the game. Now the Leafs are going to start third period on the power play. There was a bit of a scrum, a bit of a family meeting there towards the end of the period. Not a whole lot really happened, but somehow, and I say somehow because the referees might cut out in the middle of calling them, somehow the Leafs ended up with a power play. They look decent. They look okay. They're doing everything but putting the puck in the back of the net. Swayman is the difference right now. Now, Wall has made the saves. He hasn't had to face a whole ton of shots, to be honest with you. But Toronto looks decent. They're playing really good, sound, structural, defensive hockey. But they're going to need one of these guys, Tavares, Marner, Nylander. Somebody has got to do what Barkov did last night for my Panthers and get 2 and finish this up. Boston is just kind of standing around there going, you want the game? You sure? I mean, we'll give it to you. I mean, if you work a little harder, we might give you the game. Boston does now look like a team that is just ready to slam the book on this. The door is open, whatever cliche you want. How many overtimes are we going to be here tonight?
We are going to overtime!
Oh, I did that. Come on, get it right. That's still not right. We're going to try this again now. Try the whole thing again. Don't edit it out. All right, there we go. We only took 3 claps. Hopefully that doesn't mean we're going to do 3 overtimes. Oh, God, please. We're streaming. This is stress-free. Panthers have already won their series, but the Leafs got to win this game, right? The Leafs got to win this game. That's not right to troll your team like that, where you might come back and force a game 6 to be at home and get this close and then blow it. You got to win this game, Toronto. Wall is playing well. Swayman is playing well. And just nobody can really get too much of anything going. There's no consistent offensive zone time. It's one and done and one and done. And the best thing about this game right now is that the refs have put the whistles away for the most part. So that's good to see. Other than that, the second period and the third period were just basically just duplicates, right? I mean, each team scored a goal in the first period, and since then it has just been like not bad, good hockey. But as the night gets on, after the donuts and ice cream kick in, you start watching with one eye like this. But overtime is a different story. Come on, Toronto. I do it. I want to see it happen. Well, when you look at that, there will be a Game 6 for the Leafs and Bruins. And I kind of figured what we were going to see was both teams coming out in overtime and basically completely changing their playing style. They had played just stupid defense the whole game, and they both came out in overtime and they said, okay, run and gun, and we're just going to end this quick, and that's what they did. And like I said, one of these guys, I said Tavares, Nylander, Marner, somebody was going to have to pick it up, and it ended up being Tavares. Now, he didn't get the goal, but he made the goal happen. He came around wide from across the board, over on the other side of the ice, you know what I'm trying to say, over there, and he came right across the net, and then the puck ends up on a rebound right on the nice stick. Boom. And just like that, the Bruins. Now I'm a Panther fan, so I'm not gonna sit here. I'm not knocking anybody. I'm not doing any boo boos or any of that. I want to be clear. This is, but if I'm a Bruins fan right now, the question I'm asking is, are these dudes gonna do it again? Like, you would have thought the Bruins would have come out today and like the only thing in their mind at all would have been like, we screwed this up last year. And this was the moment where they screwed it up. You know what I mean? Game 5 in Boston. I mean, they would have won, but Marchand breakaway, Bob makes a save, you guys know the deal. But so here again, overtime, and Toronto does it. And if you're a Bruins fan, I gotta know, like, they couldn't do this 2 years in a row, right? They wouldn't do this to you guys 2 years in a row, because the way I think this is going is, you got to figure with this momentum, and the next game is going to be in Toronto. I mean, if Toronto was ever going to be the quote favorite in a game, they're probably going to be the favorite in Game 6. I think this sucker's going 7, and I'm enjoying the hell out of this. I have no preference in terms of who I would like to play with the Panthers. I have no preference because Boston has the goaltending. Obviously, the Leafs probably have more skilled, scoring as it is. The one thing I will say is that watching what Toronto's defense has been able to do to the Bruins, especially, this last day, that does give me some confidence in what the Panthers might be able to do to the Bruins. But this series ain't over. This is not over, okay? You get a team down 3-1, and we saw it. It can happen. They have nothing to lose, and they can kind of play with a little bit more of an abandon, and that's what both teams did in overtime. And, you got to give Woll some credit. He made some saves. He made the one save, I believe it was second period, third period, but it was one of those where he lays out and scissored the legs and stopped the puck at the post. And so you got to give him credit, which, like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm not going to be thrilled, yay, the Leafs come back and win, but Woll is on fire, and now he plays the Panthers. You see what I'm saying? But it's a good series. This was good. It's just amazing that, like I said, you listen to the history of what the Leafs and Bruins have been, and with all of that history behind it, and with what the Bruins did last year, they still came out tonight and they only got a goal. They did not show any fire at all. In overtime, yeah, but the whole game, they just didn't show me that they learned anything from last year. Put it that way. Not that they're playing bad, but that extra that a team needs to have to finish the other team off. It's almost there, but it's just not quite there. So I think the sucker's going in 7, and then who knows what that's going to be. We could be sitting here in double overtime at Game 7 between those two teams, and then they'd have to play the Panthers like the day after that. That'd be okay. I'd be okay with that. All right, that's it. Leafs fans, you live to see another day. I know I got the Bruins hat on and everything, but we're just having fun with it. You know what I mean? We didn't want to wear the same team's stuff. So last year when we did Toronto versus Tampa, Kyle had the Toronto stuff on, and I was waving the thunder stick every time that Tampa would score. But he got, Toronto won that series. So we're just having fun with it. I'm just wanting to have good hockey games, enjoy a full series. Enjoying it with the Panthers, it's just like we're just sitting back and watching. Like I said at the beginning of the video, this is the first time we've ever been in a position where we won the first round and we're just kind of sitting back and waiting for other people to finish. That's a long time they have never had that. So I don't know how to act. All right, we'll be live tomorrow at noon, and then Kyle and I will be live tomorrow night starting at 7 o'clock. We're going to stream the Stars and Vegas Game 5, and then Thursday we will be live for Game 6 of Toronto and the Leafs. And then on Friday, we will be live for Game 6 of Vegas and the Stars. And then hopefully, if things go right, on Saturday will be Game 7 for Boston and Toronto. And on Sunday will be Game 7 for Dallas and Vegas. All right. It's fun. I'm having fun. I don't know about the Bruins fans at this point, but I'm liking this.